And for those of you that still ruminate sometimes, and maybe you're like, oh, man, those first few months were great. Oh, why did it have to end? Why did they have to do what they did? That's okay. You can have that human moment. You can have that memory, and yet no matter how deep down that rabbit hole you go, as long as you know you're not going to pick up the phone and break no contact, as long as you know you're not going to meet with them for coffee to have a conversation with an irrational psychopath narcissist, then you're good. What's going on, warriors? Welcome back to another segment of Psychopath Exposure. I'm your host, Kita. Hope you guys are having a wonderful day. An interesting comment was left today. See, I wasn't planning on making a video today or ever again, but I'm just kidding. But this comment caught my attention. I'm just gonna go ahead and read it to you. It goes, "We get bored with you very quickly. It's not you, it's us. We need new all the time. We crave adventure and novelty constantly. It's not your fault. Just move on. Those feelings in the beginning we show you, they aren't lies. We get giddy a new relationship energy, but suddenly it just stops. Then we get bored and need something new. We start to know the real you, which includes your flaws. You ruin the illusion of perfection we see in you at first. It's crushingly disappointing to us." That came from Wordsmith 4305. Guys, if you haven't seen the video on new relationship energy that I made a while back, NRE, you can go ahead and check it out right there. Wordsmith, I don't know if Wordsmith is a borderline personality disorder. I don't know if they're a narcissist, maybe they're a psychopath. Who knows, right? But it's interesting how they refer to them as us, right? So, we talk about psychopaths and narcissists in this channel, so we're gonna assume that they identify as a psychopath narcissist. Anyway, great comment. I've been saying for a long time here, the illusion of that perfect relationship. And the narcissist idealizes the new supply, or their new romantic partner, a future victim, right? They idealize them as this perfect entity. This is the one where things are finally going to work out. Because believe me, you guys are not the first. Okay? By the time you're entangled in a toxic relationship like this with a psychopath narcissist, they've been doing this to a lot of people. You're just the next one. And the reason it felt so real is because at that moment, they truly believed that you were the one, like this is the one that's going to work, even though it has failed time and time again in the past, and the same pattern repeats itself. They truly believe at that moment that it's finally going to work. Okay? And the hell with the old, let's just discard that one, and all the focus is on you now. And like Wordsmith said, they're giddy, and they really believe it. So when we talk about how those the first few months, the love bombing stage, when you're entangled with a narcissist, the love bombing stage, idealization phase, as I like to call it, we always say that it's a facade, that it was never real. Okay, because in the long run, in the grand scheme of things, seeing that this is the pattern of the narcissist personality disorder, to always love bomb, devalue, and discard the romantic partners, seeing that that's the pattern across the board, textbook, okay? So we go ahead and we say that it was never real. Because these narcissists, psychopaths, sociopaths, they're incapable of actually feeling and expressing love the way normal people are. Yeah, normal nowadays, right? But you know what I'm trying to say. They just don't have that. They can emulate it very well, and they can feel emotion. They can feel that giddy. They can feel that new relationship energy. They get really excited about it. Unless it's those that are just trying to get a green card out of you or a visa or something like that, and see, that's when it's 100,000% fake throughout. Everything was fake, kind of like a spy that's just infiltrating the enemy territory, and they're just going to form a relationship just to blend in, just to fit in, right? That's completely fake. But with these toxic individuals, they truly believe at that moment that this is going to work, and they're really excited, and that's why you get love bombed, and that's why they're just mesmerized by you. Okay, it feels like if they are mesmerized by you to the point of obsession. Sometimes, like they'll build a shrine, right, and offering you gifts and making plans nonstop, calling you nonstop, texting you nonstop, all the emojis, all the cute stuff. Plans, 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 trips, vacations. They'll do anything you want in bed. The reason it feels so overwhelmingly over the top is because to these disordered narcissists, it is the ultimate experience. You are like no one they've ever had before. They finally met that person that just connects with them and in a way that nobody else has. Even though they felt the same way to the previous one, but no, now you're the special one. And they're doing this. Most often than not, they're doing this while they're in a relationship with the previous one. Once they got bored of that person, once that person's true colors came out, because you know at the beginning, everyone puts their best foot forward. Okay, everyone's trying to make a good impression at the beginning. They put up with things, you know, they sweep some things under the rug. Let's just, the honeymoon stage. But once you start coming into your own, into the relationship, right? And the narcissist gets to see that you too have flaws. And maybe they're not even flaws. Maybe they're just things that they don't agree with. Maybe there are things the narcissist expected you to comply with, and you didn't. And you called them out on it. And maybe you put your foot down and you pointed something out that they were doing that was disrespectful, that was thoughtless, that was crossing your boundaries. And they didn't like that. And they're like taken aback. And it's like, well, wait a second. I thought you were perfect. And what does perfect mean to a disordered narcissist, psychopath? What does it mean? Sometimes it means that you are going to put up with any type of unacceptable abusive behavior, even at the beginning. Disrespectful attitudes, whatever they feel like doing, saying, treating you, whatever, that you're just going to turn the other cheek and be submissive to it and compliant and accommodating. Maybe they idealized you in such fashion. And when they realized they couldn't do certain things, when suddenly you say, hey, wait a second, like, this doesn't work. Like, how dare you speak to me that way? Or who are those people that you're texting behind my back? Like, why are you acting all weird? Like, who are these other guys that you're talking to? Or who are these other girls that you have on your phone? God forbid you question them, right? And it's at that moment that they deem you as imperfect. It's at that moment that they get disappointed. It's at that moment that they're like, oh, well, maybe you're not who I thought you were. And they might endure a little narcissistic injury at the time. You know, I remember my psychopath ex long time ago, 3 lifetimes ago. This is like early into the relationship, maybe about a month and a half, 2 months or something like that. And she had this trip planned overseas. And before she left, like she had like 9 pairs of shoes thrown in my living room. Okay, now this girl wasn't living with me. There were 9 pairs of shoes, pretty much her whole closet, her sewing machine that she wouldn't use, her keyboard that she didn't know how to play, and all sorts of crap. And I'm like, hey, so like before you go on this trip for 2 weeks, why don't we start packing up some of your stuff, throwing it back in your van, take your shit home, right? Because why the hell are there 9 pairs of shoes in my living room? Okay, and I'm not talking about nicely organized by the wall. I'm talking about just thrown there. She didn't like that. She actually questioned me. She was like, are you serious? Like, but why can't I just leave them here? No, I thought it was strange. I was like, you're joking, right? Like really, this is not a pigsty. Like, get your shit and take it back home. You shouldn't even be here in the first place. You bring the shoes that you're wearing and maybe some other ones that you want to wear later. But no, not 9. I remember that, and it was little things like that that all of a sudden it was like, okay, that's an X, right? That you have an X by your name now. And as those things accumulated, you know, normal things, or just normal, they start to pile up. And it's like, oh wait, I can't live how I want. I'm not a princess, pretty much, right? Started grooming somebody else. That's what they do. Because it's convenient to stay in the relationship when you have something good. It's convenient. You just go behind that person's back and groom someone else. And now they're getting their new relationship energy fix behind your back. Now they're excited with that new shiny object. But it's still convenient to have you around, right? For shelter, right? Because they're creeps. But yeah, to have a place to sleep, maybe on the weekends, maybe closer to the job, to have someone to drive them around, take them shopping, to cook for them, right? To just have some place to come, some place to be, after they're having all the fun behind your back. And then of course they're going to start denying you of intimacy as a form of punishment. Even if they are self-proclaimed nymphomaniacs, they will start denying and withholding as a form of punishment. Yeah. Boredom, you want to call it boredom, I like to call it a disorder, right? But either way, it leads to the same outcome. It's not your fault. It's not your fault. Believe me, I blamed myself for a long time when I didn't know what I was dealing with. Thought it was my fault. I thought, oh man, I probably should have left those 9 pairs of shoes there. I probably should have asked her to bring another 9 pairs so we can have 18 pairs in the living room. right? Maybe, you know, we go into the shoe business together. I don't know. But once you understand the textbook patterns of psychopaths, of narcissists, of these toxic individuals, even borderline personality disorder, which is huge and is not talked about much here, but we will, you start to realize that it wasn't your fault. And that's not to say that we are perfect and that we didn't make mistakes or that we didn't do things that perhaps looking back, you're like, oh man, I wish I wouldn't have reacted that way. I wish I would have been a little more forgiving. I wish I would have, whatever, right? Because we're not perfect. We're always judging ourselves. But the abusive behavior, the punishment that these narcissists inflict on their partners or their offspring, right, or their friends, doesn't even compare. It doesn't warrant that type of psychological punishment because it's psychological warfare when you think about it. That's what's going on. You have to move on. You have to find a way, even if you were completely in love with this person because of what they showed you during the love bombing stage, during those initial times where the narcissist, which was giddy over you, you have to find a way to let that go and move on. Because what you saw at the beginning, you will never see again. The narcissist might breadcrumb you with something that might resemble 0.5% of what you saw during the love bombing initial idealization phase. But not only is it uncanny, but it will quickly stop. They will only do it to try and get something out of you, just to dangle that carrot real quick to see how much of a sucker you are if you're going to take them back. But it's going to be gone quickly. It was real, but not the real, if that makes sense. It was real to them in their own way. They were excited, they were giddy, they thought they were in love. They fell in love right away, right? But it wasn't actually healthy real, longevity real, non-disordered real. It was an illusion. The narcissist had idealized you. They had an illusion of who you were and what this relationship was going to be like. And it was shattered because of their disorder. So people tell me, oh, Kira, so what you're saying is that the narcissist did love me? Oh my God, Kira, so it was real? Oh my God, so I'm gonna call them back and I'm just going to try and help them get back, help them remember what it felt like when they actually loved me. No, sucker face, that's not what I said. See, and that's the problem. This is why I hesitate sometimes to even acknowledge that during that short period of time, it was real to them. Unless they were trying to get a visa out of you or a job opportunity or something where as soon as they got it, they bailed, okay? That short-lived love bombing stage to the narcissist was real. I mean, I remember even my psychopath ex, I have the photographs. I mean, she would be giddy and excited and laughing in a way that she can't fake. And believe me, I was there through the discard phase when she would fake shit. And I was like, this is not you. You're not here right now. This is BS. This is a charade that you're putting on. But I remember when she was completely just mesmerized by me and my presence. And I remember nonstop laughter. And I also remember at the end, it was the face of Satan, nonstop. And there wasn't any laughter. It was anger. It was resentment. It was trickery, manipulation. It was strategic plotting. There was was just a face of evil. And I would feel it walking around, slithering around. I would feel the cold. I would feel the shivers. It was an uncomfortable feeling. But at the beginning, it felt like the healthiest, just most innocent, exciting, like this is something out of a fairy tale. This is great. And I can't believe I met this person. And that's what they were feeling too. And that's what they would tell me. And that's what they would write me. And just like before, and just like after, when the snake got bored, when the snake realized, oh, this person has some sort of boundaries. They're not letting me completely slither around their throat. They're on to me. They see that I'm trying to get in there and they're resisting. Oh, I don't like resistance. I'm going to punish this person and I'm going to go and find me somebody else. And when I have that person hooked, then I'm going to cut this one off. I remember the beginning. I have a pretty good memory. But I don't hold on to it. Like, oh my God. Oh, I wish we could go back to that. Oh, please. I remember it for what it was. It was a great experience. If I could take that experience, and that's the only thing that I can remember, and dismiss all of it, hey, great. I had an amazing few months. It was bombastic. And then it came to an end, and that's the end of it. That would be great. Unfortunately, I have all the haunting memories, the reality that came after. And it's that haunting reality, right? It's that experience that brings me back to the present moment, that reminds me, hey, no matter how good it was, I remember each and every evil, wicked thing she did after that I did not deserve. And that's why I would never pick up the phone and reach out to this entity ever again, which I never have, never even considered it. And for those of you that still ruminate sometimes, and maybe you're like, oh, man, those first few months were great. Oh, why did it have to end? Why did they have to do what they did? That's okay. You can have that human moment. You can have that memory, and yet no matter how deep down that rabbit hole you go, as long as you know you're not going to pick up the phone and break no contact, as long as you know you're not going to meet with them for coffee to have a conversation with an irrational psychopath narcissist, then you're good. How long do you want to keep dwelling on those memories though? Well, that's up to you. See, that doesn't bring me any value. That doesn't add anything to my life. So it's once in a while it pops in my head, like it popped into my head now to make this video. I can assure you I'm not going to dwell on those memories once I shut this camera off. That was a long time ago. There was a time that I did. There was a time that I did. But I was so full of anger and the hatred I had for what had happened that it would nullify those memories. When those memories would pop up, it was like instant reminder. It was like, but, right? And it would just melt away, those memories. So if you guys could do that, I know some of you get weak in the knees and you start missing the person, especially maybe last week on Singles Awareness Day, aka Valentine's Day, Hallmark holiday. Probably were thinking about the narcissist and wishing you weren't alone. Big fucking deal. I can tell you. Every day is Valentine's Day when you're in a good relationship, okay? I don't need one day of the year to take my girl out on a nice dinner and plan a romantic evening. No, don't fall for it. So for those of you that are single, right, or had been discarded by a narcissist and you felt like you were missing out on something, oh man, Stop drinking that Kool-Aid. Stop it. Anyway, thanks for that comment. I think it's pretty accurate. Guys, remember, no matter what, when you're dealing with a narcissist, things are not going to last, okay? There was nothing you could have done. It was not going to last. It was going to come to a bitter end sooner or later. And if it came to an end sooner, you have no idea how blessed you are, because the longer you're entangled with snakes like this, the worse it is on your psyche, the stronger the hold they have on you, the more potent the trauma bond becomes. So be grateful if you're only entangled with a narcissist for a short amount of time. And even in that short amount of time can do a lot of damage, believe me. But rejoice that it's over. Rejoice that it's over. Okay? And it was not your fault. Now, moving forward, you give this person another chance and it's 100% your fault, all right? So make sure you stay no contact with these predators if you want to live to see another day, all right? Thanks for watching the video. Again, I have that new relationship energy video. I have a description in the link below. See what I did there? I have a link in the description below where you can see the video. And if you'd like to work directly with me on my coaching program, there's a link directly to that too. So check that out if you want to do a private one-on-one consultation. All right, guys, be good. Have a wonderful rest of your evening. I'm stumbling on my words now, so I'm going to let you go, but I'll see you in the next video. This is Kita with Psychopath Exposure signing off. See y'all next time. Peace out.